maintenance on my '65 Mustang. It needs an oil change as it's the beginning of the year. And I also have a new spotlight bulb because the spotlight isn't working. Never really much cared for that spotlight, but I like everything to work. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing today. And I also like to show, really, a lot of people will ask me, hey, what kind of classic car is a good car to buy? And honestly, it really depends on what you like. What do you want to do with it? Do you like speed? Do you like power? Do you like noise? Do you like simplicity? Do you like cars from the 40s, or do you like 60s muscle cars, or whatever? It really just depends on your taste. I think this is actually a great car for the novice hobbyist when you just kind of get into it. These cars are really easy to work on, and I'm going to kind of show that today. We're just doing an oil change on this car. I don't even need to put it up on ramps. I don't have to crawl under it. I don't have to, get it on a rack. I can actually change the oil just as it is from under the hood. So I'm going to show you how I do that, and we'll go on from there. Then we'll do the spotlight. First, we're opening up the hood. Very easy. And we get our oil catch bucket, and we're going to slide it on under. Okay, now here is my 200 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder engine. And as you can see, oil filter's right there. And if you can see down here, I'm not sure if you can, try to get you as close as I can, there's our drain plug right down there. Very easy to reach from under the hood. So now we will grab our socket wrench with a 7/8 socket and give it a little turn. Go. Oil is draining. Okay, now while it is draining, let us slide our pan over. That's good. And loosen our oil filter. On this car, I do use an FL1A Motorcraft filter, and I use just conventional oil in it, and I do add a zinc additive. All right. Dump it down into the pan. There you go. There's the old oil filter. Now on this car now, I am using some STP Pro Formula, just conventional oil, 10W30, and a brand new Motorcraft FL1A oil filter. Just get a little bit of oil out of the pan. Put it around our gasket. Now this is something that I've always liked to do whenever possible. It depends on where your oil filter is and how it goes in, but on this vehicle I like to put a little bit in the filter, just that way it doesn't start dry. Now it doesn't have to be all the way filled up to the top. See, now it gets to the top, and that should be good. That way it doesn't start on a completely dry filter. Okay, now we've got our filter with some oil in it. We'll slide that back on. Now in this car I change the oil about once a year, because it only gets, maybe 1,500, 2,000 miles tops. Doesn't have to be too tight, obviously just a little snug. That's so we don't knock it over. And then we'll put on our drain plug. Grab our socket. And there we go. And again, it doesn't have to be too tight, just nice and snug. oil fill. It actually does have a breather element, although this says change oil and filter every 6,000 miles. I don't know anybody that would take a car like this for 6,000 miles, but maybe some people do. And this car doesn't really need a funnel when you're filling it, because this one's very easy to do. Some of them are in a really difficult position, so you really need one. This one's okay. Just do it slowly so you don't slop it everywhere. Now, one thing I do with this car is I add an additive to it, because a lot of these new oils, they took the zinc out of it for whatever reason. So it doesn't really lubricate these older cars as it should. So I use this. I use the Lucas TB Zinc Plus. It's got ZDDP, that's what the zinc designation is. It says for hot rods, classic cars, and race engines. Obviously this is not a race engine, but it helps to keep it lubricated properly. Okay, now you don't really need a ton of this stuff. I just give it a little shake. Doesn't really say you need to shake it, but I do it anyway. So I just squirt a bit of this in. Probably about a third of this will do. Let's see. Maybe one more squirt. Alright, that's probably about a third. Now that'll keep the engine from wearing prematurely, as it adds a lot of lubricant. So we'll just top up this oil a little bit. So it's about 4.5 plus. Now let's start it, run it for a few seconds, and then we'll check the oil and make sure it's full. Alright, give the oil a check, make sure it's full. And it's just over the full mark, so that is perfect. Okay, and like I was saying, this car is really easy to work on. While we're here, we're going to check the air filter, see if that needs to be replaced. Actually, this one is pretty dusty, so I'll have to get a new one of those. Don't have one right now, but I will pick one up in the next couple of days. But here, I can take this off so you can see. But as you can see, just a very simple carburetor. That's your distributor here. You want to change your spark plugs? They're right here. I actually can change them in about 10 minutes. So if you are into cars and you want to get into the classic car hobby and you want something that's simple to work on, that you can do yourself, this is one of the greatest cars. The Mustang, Falcon, these little 6-cylinders, even the old Chrysler Slant 6s, they're very easy to work on. I actually changed the exhaust manifold right here in my garage. It took about 2.5 hours of actual work time, and it ran great. Valve cover comes off very easily. I'm actually going to be replacing the shocks pretty soon. So, there you go. Alright, now one thing about this car that doesn't work is this. This is the spotlight that was installed. I don't really care for it, but I do like things to work. And this is not working presently. It has before, and I think the bulb has gone bad. So we are going to check that today. And I have a new bulb to replace it. You just have to unscrew this one screw. Safer place than that. And then we just have to kind of wiggle it off. There we go. When you take it off, it does have a little hook at the top, so it kind of goes on this way. So there it is. Okay, this does have 2 battery posts on here, so we are going to loosen it, slide it off, make sure it doesn't touch anything. This side, same thing, just loosen it and slide it off. It does have a retainer clip in here, which is a bit of a pain to get out. There we go. Right. Okay. Put it in the same way. Put it in. Get your retainer clip. And it's pretty self-explanatory how it goes in. You just got to make sure it's snapped in all the way. That one is. Okay. There it is. Retainer screws in. Now let's reconnect as it was. And again, it doesn't have to be too tight. It does have a little lock washer on it. But there we go. Now let's test it. And there we go. Working again. Job well done. Alright, thank you very much for tuning into Mike's Garage. I hope you liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did. I got a nice oil change and we fixed our spotlight. And actually something I found, usually I put a little oil sticker on there just to remind me when I did it last, but I actually found this when I was rooting around through my shop. It's an old 70s Valvoline door sticker, so I think I'm going to use this. It actually will be very authentic when I take it to car shows and things like that, because back when this was new, this is what you would have gotten. You didn't get one on your windshield. Just put a sticker on your door. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.